Hi class, I want to do a little video on how to set up the still life that we'll be using in class today. Now in class we're going to be talking about sighting and how we can use sighting to transfer a line, horizontal, vertical, diagonal, whatever, how we can transfer that line that we see in space, in real life, and transfer that onto our paper. Now because that's what we're going to be talking about in class, I want the still life that you're going to set up to have a lot of nice long straight lines on it. So I have some props set up already, or props set up over here. I have some things you'll probably be able to find around your house. I have a broom. This is basically the handle to a shovel. So if you have a shovel, something like that, or just a handle. I have a ruler. Now you can see all these props are fairly large, right? So I'm going to ask you to do a little bit larger scale still life than something that would be sitting on top of your desk. We're going to be looking for something a little bit bigger. To that end, I have a little folding table here, which we'll use in an upside down way, I think. I have a table that we're going to use to build our still life on. Now you see this, just a little side table. I do want you to try to work on an elevated surface. So that might be just building it on top of a chair, or it might be finding a table, something of that nature. Surface of bed. So I want this to be elevated. I don't want it sitting on the ground. Just have a little towel, or a large towel here. Doesn't need to be anything special for this. I'm just trying to protect the surface of the table. So I've experimented a little bit with the still life. So I'm going to expect that you do the same thing, right? So set up, arrange your pieces, gather the pieces you're going to use. You might get more than you need. And then do a few experiments, right? Try to see what's going to be interesting. In the end here, what I want you to build is a still life that's going to have a lot of these straight lines, again, both vertical, horizontal, and diagonal. I want you to think about how the vertical, horizontal, or diagonal doesn't need to fit within one plane. These can kind of project towards you in different ways and project around each other. So set up that table. I think if I took this chair right now and basically overlapped it, we would get a little bit too much visual density. So I want to open this space up a little bit. So I'm thinking if I just maybe stack them on top of each other, that allows us to have the right amount of visual density, right? We have some overlapping in here, but we don't kind of block the one area of the still life by another. You don't need too much more here, actually. That's a lot of lines. I'm going to take this broom, maybe. I don't knock the whole thing over, thread it over the top. I think that'll be good for the moment. Maybe I'll take this other prop. Maybe I can take it and thread it this way. I'm not quite sure. Didn't pre-work this section up. I think that's maybe good. Now I have a couple hangers over here. They're a little bit smaller, but they're nice and bright white, so they're gonna stand out against this black. Here, I'll do a little barrel of monkeys type situation. Create several different diagonal lines. I'll go ahead and thread that all the way down. Okay, so we have a fairly large still life here. We have a lot of different straight lines, a lot of different angles of diagonal lines. Some of them are projecting towards the screen, some of them are moving away. Now, what we'll talk about in class is that as you're watching this video, you're seeing a two-dimensional image with one viewpoint. And of course, standing here in space, I have multiple different views of this. And so, as I'll talk about in class, I'm going to try to find the best view for myself as an artist or as the viewer looking at the still life and how to draw it in a way that's compelling. So at this point, go ahead and come back to class, and we will kind of move on to how to actually start doing the drawing. Thank you.